Hi, it's Chef Rick, and today I'm making penne arrabbiata. We're going to start with 2 small red chilies. You can keep the seeds in like I like to do for a bit of extra heat, but if you want to take some of that heat out, you can remove the seeds. I'll show you how to do that. First thing you'll do is chop off the very top of the chili and then slice it in half. And then using the back of a knife, or any kind of flat surface like that, even a spoon would do, just scrape out all the middle, and that's going to remove the seeds and that central core. If you're doing it with bare hands like I am, your hands are going to have chili on them, so make sure you wash your hands before you touch yourself. Slice down through each half of the chili like this, and we want these kind of individual little kind of pieces of chili. We don't want to then mince it or turn it into a paste, so that's your chili prepped and chopped. Garlic, just like we always do, we're just going to top and tail it, which means chop off the top and bottom of the clove. All quantities will be down in the description below. And then we're going to take these garlics and we're just going to, the standard technique that we always do, but the very first way is start chopping into the garlic very, very roughly, just so it doesn't fly everywhere when you do this process, which we always do in our videos. So we just slowly but surely work left to right, back and forth. You keep your 2 fingers on the very tip of the knife there, so you're in full control, it can't slip anywhere, and you just go back and forth, back and forth. Any bits that stick to the side of the knife like that, just brush them down, put them back onto the chopping board, bring them back to the center and chop. It's time consuming, but it's the best way to do this, and it'll just get your knife skills up better, and you'll get really nicely minced garlic. Once that's all done, put your garlic in a separate container. Again, what I'm doing with this dish is I'm going to show you how you'd kind of get this ready for a restaurant. So you're going to have things prepped, do all this in advance, and it makes it super easy when it comes to cook. That's parsley. So once again, whenever we use herbs, we'll just do a bit of a rough chop first of all. And just like we did with the garlic, you'll move back and forth with the knife. Anything sticks to the knife, just wipe it off, put it back in the middle. And that's your parsley. Again, I'll put that into a container. And now some basil leaves. Now these are going to be going on the top. So all I will do with basil normally is I'll remove the stalks. You can use the stalks, of course, with basil. I'm sure it's packed with flavour. But we just want the leaves. So whenever I'm using basil, if it's to sprinkle over the top of something, you don't want to over chop it because it can discolour and you don't really want it to be minced. So I'll pack it all together like this, almost like you're making a cigar or something. Just pack all of those leaves nice and tight. And then with a good sharp knife, just chop down into them, almost the same as we did with the chili, really. This is a really, really good dish for kind of practicing your knife skills. It's all very simple. That's the basil to one side. And there's our ingredients. Garlic, parsley, basil, and a chili. We're going to get some boiling water, which we're going to add salt to. And we're going to add our pasta. For this one, we're using penne pasta. Penne is perfect for this because it kind of really allows all that sauce to go inside. And if you can find these big fat pennes, oh look at that, that's the end of my spoon. You might have seen that spoon in that spoon has been in all my videos previously. It's got a big smiley face, and that was the very last stir that spoon ever did, so I felt it was worth showing you. Olive oil. The garlic and the chili go into olive oil. I'm just going to bring that around so I can work on it a little bit easier. I'm going to keep that on a medium heat. We want this to cook. We don't want this to burn, of course, but we do want this to start cooking and sizzling away in the olive oil. So you're going to keep that on a medium heat. Cook that down for around about 5 minutes. You'll see that the colour starts to go in the garlic slightly. It's not burning, it's not going brown, but it's just taking on a little bit of that colour. I'll do another video for these. These were just some garlic breads that I made, just dead simple, but you're going to see them at the end cooked, so I may as well show you them going in the oven. You can see that the garlic and the chilli is cooking down really, really beautifully there. It smells amazing, of course, garlic and chilli. It's like the most classic flavour combo ever. So that's in total been cooking for about 10 minutes. In there goes a can of tomatoes. Use good quality tomatoes and just give that a good mix round. Make sure everything's nice and combined. Whilst I'm doing this, I'm going to ask you, if you like my videos, please hit like. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe at the bottom. It's totally free for you, but it's really good for me, so I really appreciate it if you choose to do that. Thank you in advance if you do. In goes the parsley. And we've not started cooking this sauce yet. The tomato's gone in there, with the hot garlic and chili, and we just make sure it's all really, really combined before we then add the parsley as well. Some salt. And just a very, very small amount of pepper at this point. We can add pepper at the end when we're seasoning it to taste, but whenever you're going to start cooking down tomato, you do want to add a nice good pinch of salt in there. It's going to draw the moisture out, add a load of flavour, and it's just going to help it as we start to cook it down. When I say cook it down, that's this process now, so we're just going to leave that on a medium heat so it's just bubbling away. And then once it starts to come to what we'll call a simmer, like that, that is a simmer. So it's not quite a boil, but you can still see it is just bubbling up. Give it a really good mix round. The smells coming off it are going to be fantastic. All the steam leaving a sauce, don't forget, is water. And when water leaves a sauce, it thickens. So we're going to put a lid on that. That cooked down for about 10 minutes on the stove, 10 further minutes. Drain off the penne. Whenever you drain off any pasta, if you can drain it over a colander, and then if you can quickly put the colander back over the saucepan that you cooked it in. Doesn't need to be a massive industrial saucepan like mine, it can just be a normal one, but that's what you want to capture. That's the pasta cooking water, and that is so full of flavour that any Italian sauces that start to over thicken, you can thin them down with that, and it's an amazing ingredient in Italian cooking. So there we go, so that sauce has been cooking down, like I say, for around about 10 minutes. We kept a lid on there because we don't want it to go dry. We still want it to be lovely and moist. But the bitterness is going to be coming out of those tomatoes. The chili and the garlic is going to be coming through everything. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Add the pasta to the sauce. Add it bit by bit like that. Didn't really work, so kind of just tip it in. And keep some back. Keep some back. What you want to do is put enough pasta in, whether it's penne, spaghetti, any pasta you want, and give it a good mix round in the pan like this. So maybe it's an old-fashioned sort of English way. Maybe it's of doing it where sometimes people just put cold pasta on a plate and then they add the sauce on top, and it doesn't look nice. It's not, it's no way of doing it. You want to really mix the pasta in with the sauce before you serve it. So give that a really, really good mix round. If it's over saucy, add a bit more pasta. And that is pretty much a penne arrabbiata. Arrabbiata means angry. That comes from the chili, although this is not a dish to fear, because if you don't put the seeds in there, the chili's more of a flavour than a spice. Add a little bit of that chopped basil on top. Nice warm bowl, of course, as we always serve our pasta in. A drizzle of your best extra virgin olive oil. We'll serve it with some of that mozzarella topped garlic bread, which I'll do in a separate video. That's a penne arrabbiata. It's a very, very much a midweek tea, but it is impressive and it's a pleasure to cook. It's quite an enjoyable one to cook as well as eat. Thank you so much for watching my videos. You know I appreciate every viewer, and I'll see you on the next one.